All right, let's call the June 10th meeting to order. Let the record show that the meeting is being videotaped and will be posted to the city's website. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the May 20th meeting. Do we have any changes or modifications? Waiting for the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented.
I second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any old business?
I had a question about the ordinances, the updates. Did we make any changes to the number of members of the commission?
No.
Okay.
No.
There needs to be some fixing that on what was sent to the council.
What was that?
There needs to be some edits on what was sent to the council.
Oh, okay.
It has it up to 7 members now.
Huh. I'll double check, but I don't think we did.
Okay.
You just talked about resident versus non-resident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all we talked about.
Okay.
That's all we changed, I thought.
Well, just curious.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about it, but wanted to make sure.
Okay. Any other old business? Any new business? Okay. Dan, your update?
Not much, just wanted to bring up a couple of concerns that have been brought to my attention the last couple of weeks. We've had an issue, not an issue, but a situation on a couple Saturdays in a row where we've heard complaints about there being a single on the golf course. And the reason that happens occasionally is that we have a threesome that will book a tee time, and that will open up the single slot online, and then the single will book in. We've had a couple weekends where the threesome has then either called and canceled late or no-showed at all, leaving the single by themselves. Both weeks they've been non-members, paying customers. The first week, it was actually the Winchendon School golf coach. So he went out at his time. A few tee times later, we had a foursome booked that only showed with 3. So I had David Minsky go out and ask Jason to fall back a few groups, and he was more than gracious enough to do that, to take that group off the golf course. This past weekend, we didn't have that same luck. There was a young lady that was also booked in with a threesome. The threesome, I believe, no-showed this week. And so she was at that time as well. We have members that are don't like seeing singles out there on the weekend, I guess would be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But I don't see any way that we can turn away a booked paying customer at that point. Either way, we both lose revenue, whether it's that threesome not showing up. And I don't think we can certainly catch that publicity about sending a single home on their own because of no fault of their own.
Right.
So that's pretty much my stance on that. As far as it stinks that we don't lose a threesome on that. But going back to that first weekend, we also have issues with members that book four golfers all the time and show up with less than 4 without members and non-members.
Right.
In an effort to prevent getting a single or twosome booked in there with them so they can play with their own group. So both of those are revenue losing situations.
Is there any way to track that? Like if somebody does show up, they booked 4 but only show up 2, if somebody does it every week, is there a way to see if we did that?
We can kind of click on their no-shows. I think it would get tagged to whoever booked the tee time, not who the actual individual was, because we don't have all 4 names until they come in.
Yeah, I guess.
So if you booked 4 came with 3, I think you would get tagged with the no-show, even if it was your buddy that came up.
We'd know the rules though if it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if it became a habit.
Yeah.
We have used that function a little bit, no shows on there. We don't, right now we don't take credit cards for reservations. We don't charge not late fees, but no show fees. Both of those are kind of slippery slopes, I would think. Other than trying to pound people with the information like, hey, you need to give these times back because we're losing revenue.
Right.
What does that look at, like from the golf, or from the booking standpoint? If if non-members didn't pay for their tee times,
They would have to pay online. The issue with that with Golf Now, the Golf Now would take an additional percentage of that fee. So rather than, and granted, we would get it if we have a policy in place of 24 hours or whatever. So that functionality is there in the T-sheet system. Sorry. It's just something that kind of toss around, I think, to see how do we increase revenue and then reduce the.
To address the single, I know there were a foursome of women that were in front of that single. And they had asked me, would it be okay if they made a fivesome?
I hope you said no.
Pardon?
I hope you said no.
Well, I said no, but I said this was on Sunday,
Yeah.
so is it better to have the single there on their own, or she could have joined the
You could have
other
went,
four?
3 and 2.
Right, yeah. I mean, but unfortunately,
If that foursome wants to.
You don't want to do a 5 because now you're setting a precedent. So if somebody sees that,
Right,
they're gonna
exactly.
think they can do it. I mean, I was playing on a Friday night 2 weeks ago and I saw a 6-some on number 8 and called the pro shop and made sure somebody came down and told them to break it up into 3s.
yeah, because
I had to run laps around the pond for the 8-some. We played the 9th hole in the rain from Lake Egan. 1 lap for every person over.
Policy.
It was pouring.
Policy.
And so, yes, it was not a fun run.
Good for baseball too. So the problem is not having a single out there because singles filling a 9-minute tee time, right? And tee time's 9 minutes
Correct.
as well. They don't have any
the young
standing on the
lady that
golf course.
played Saturday was well in position of where that group should be. She wasn't falling behind, she wasn't holding her play. And, it just happens to be a young lady this week, and was a gentleman 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were able to drop him back. Now, that's also not an easy ask either if
Right.
someone we don't know.
How often does it happen? Once a month, maybe?
Once or twice a month, probably. Or it's a twosome, something like that, or a two.
Chalk it up to that, but.
I mean,
Two.
I mean, they give information about it all out to the members of both
Yeah,
sides, both sides of it about, hey, this is why there's a single out there. We're not gonna turn them away because it's, as you said, no fault there. And on the other side, we have members booking 3-somes and you don't have that. And we should before 4-somes, you're actually coming up with 3-somes. So,
And they don't have any standing on the golf course, like they shouldn't expect to play through every group because they're single. They just gotta stand in place, like if there were 2-some with singles.
it's gonna be real slow for you.
Yeah, you just follow me in the group and that's where you are.
Yeah. The other thing is probably, the tournament that has been brought to my attention that is publicizing that they're starting at 10 a.m. on, I believe, July 16th. Megan, who works for Todd in the restaurant, got a hold of me a few weeks ago, looking for vacant dates to run an event to subsequently raise money for the gym. And she publicized that it's a 10 o'clock start time. I know that that's part of the discussion, the argument, that we went through the survey and created the policy last year. It was my understanding that that survey dealt only with golf course sponsored events, mixed scotches, club championships, all that other stuff. Because even looking back at last weekend when we had the NAP Club there, which is a non-golf course sponsored event, they started at 10:15 because the U.S. kids are there as well. I certainly keep the prime time tee times in mind, and I don't book 3, 4, 5, 6 events on a certain day. When I could have given the U.S. kids the choice of where they wanted to. When U.S. kids come in after the fact, I give them 1 or 2 options based on what's best for the golf course, and what's best for the tee times. I know this event probably is not going to start at 10 because they won't have enough. And I talked to a member came in this weekend, and he said, what I work off of is the past precedents. Now, whether it's in policy or not, I don't know. The large club events, NAP Club, Elton, whatever, they were capped, I believe, at 96 players, where they started at 11 o'clock, it would then fill till 1 o'clock, and then be allowed to back up to 10 o'clock. So that's kind of what I went off of with her on this event. they talked like it's gonna be a big event. I have my doubts. So I will get back to her and I will push her start time to 11 and fill to 1, and if they, at that point, need to go back. But my thought was, when she called, is $66 per golfer, foursome after foursome. Right, as a walk-in tournament, you know, a month and a half before that date. And that was my, you know, I know there's something there to contact the commission, you know, write a letter, but, you know, when I'm on the phone with somebody, and I have the opportunity to do that, I try to throw somebody whenever I can. So.
I just think the policies need to reflect that is our motives, more about how we do this, how we handle these things. It doesn't, but it makes sense, it's a lot of money that we do that. If they come back next year and short notice want it, the answer is no, because it should apply in January, like everyone else.
Yeah, like US Kids has not applied, you know, they'll get a hold of me after that.
You start,
No, we
you
have to-
have to do something at 1 o'clock, though, too.
Correct, they're at 12:30.
12:30.
It's not, they come after. Yeah, and that's why the Nat Club member started before 11. You know, they were, I don't think you guys would have been big enough. Well, you've been close to back having meetings, 10 o'clock.
We might have gotten it doesn't matter.
But, yeah, but where we have a deadline, where all the club events apply into that lottery.
Right.
Anybody that's, the way I see it, anybody that comes in after that, they get the leftovers.
Right.
You know, US Kids, they get the leftovers. I'm not moving anything that's already been in there, in the lottery system, is what it used to be.
Right, and that's what's gonna happen with that tournament next year, they'll be part of the lottery.
That's perfect.
You know, and that's, you know, like I said, you know, I have Megan's phone number, and I'll see what the numbers look like, and I don't think they're gonna get past an hour and a half or 2 times.
I wouldn't guess so. I think it just, like I said, I just think that going forward, we should amend with these policies just to reflect what we're actually doing. I agree with that, of course, and not, okay, we do some stuff this way. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate your efforts to generate revenue and keep our costs covered and our membership fees down, so thank you.
Yeah,
Anything else?
that's it.
And for our tournaments, can I bring up something about a tournament? Sure. I used to have that Dock Lake tournament, and he was, you know, pretty instrumental in getting us, you know, the 18 holes for the extra 9 holes. And also, you know, he was one of the founders of the South Gardner Golf Association. And I don't believe the tournament is running anymore, right?
I do it.
You do?
Yeah, so it's over the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's a 3-day play once as you go.
Oh, because I didn't
Yeah.
see it on the.
I might have not listed it on there, it just might be an admission, but it's something I've done every year since.
It was continuing to get run, I know it's been left off the list the last couple of
Oh,
years.
has it? Okay.
So, if you can try to make sure to get that in there.
Yeah.
Because if not, you know, like you see, you have that other Independence Board want to rename that.
No, yeah, this is, the Dr. Blake thing is something I can run concurrently with it.
100%, but I didn't know if it was because of the number of play, I don't know what kind of play it gets anymore, people signing up for it. It really was just a souped up version of a men's association.
Correct. And I think it's always been.
Yeah, and it was, like, it was $5 instead of $3 or $2 or something like that.
But it's definitely something.
And if it's not getting the play, you know, I didn't know what interchanging of, you know, the Independence Day floorball being the Dock Lake Independence Day floorball
Oh,
instead.
April renaming it.
Yeah, if that's not something, if the tournament doesn't get the play it used to.
Yeah, it has gotten much smaller.
Yeah, so it's something entertaining going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's.
To do away with it, but still remember.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Contributions, but
Yeah,
not
that's
just-
good.
Right, have his name. Okay.
No, it's good. Is that something that we will have to bring to the table and vote on, or just kind of?
But, I mean, let's see how the tournament goes this year. You can.
Okay, yeah, I'm running on it. I will put it on the schedule, I'll change that.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just, that's an omission, that's nothing that hurts the roster.
Anything else?
Well,
Go ahead.
the women's locker room, it's now become a storage room. Can't even, I have no
I
idea.
haven't been in there.
I can't even get to
Close the
my
door.
locker, there
Okay.
is like
What's in there? What's
I
in
don't
there?
know,
boxes, I mean,
top stuff?
huge boxes.
Of what?
Wood, I don't know. I'm not inspecting, but I can't even get to my locker, but it's, There's
Take a
a
look
lot
tomorrow.
of stuff.
Yeah, literally when I go, it's, shut the light off.
Well, you should take a
Okay.
look.
Yeah, okay.
And I checked this morning.
Well, that's weird.
It isn't Todd, right?
Us.
That's not me, yeah, but then.
Yeah, because Todd's got room downstairs, I mean, to put stuff, right? No?
Question mark.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Unless
We
it's,
unlock the door.
Yeah, walk backwards.
You don't want to look in, do you? You can just.
I wouldn't even notice if there
it's
was
funny,
boxes.
it's funny, well, you went in there Friday night, did you see anything?
Not the ladies' locker room when he goes.
Oh, yeah.
When he goes in there every Friday night, they go to the men's locker room.
All spaces were in there. It's an aggressive thing to ask. Thanks for taking Paul's keys on.
All right. Your update?
I have very little. We got our pump back.
Good.
So we're running irrigation at night for the first time, which is a good thing. And like we talked about, at the end of the season, we will pull that sister pump out, send that out, same thing. It was a hair under 28,000, it was 27,000 and change. But now we have the capacity to pump 1,000 gallons again, so that's a good thing. Other than that, we're good.
Okay.
Do you have a question?
Shoot.
Great, thank you for putting in the ball washer.
Yeah, totally
However,
forgot.
it's a dry wash, there's a dry wash, like there's no.
There's no water in it?
solution. There's no solution.
Guess what we're doing after the women's locker room? I'm gonna have to call it.
I'm on it.
That was with someone, they tried it out, and it's like, well, it's here, but,
We were close.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Commission, oh, that's right, there's no correspondence. Commissioners, any kind of comments or?
Well, thank you for taking care of the pump, making sure the course gets irrigated. Appreciate you and everything your maintenance staff does, and everybody in the pro shop.
Thank you.
Job well done from my point of view.
I got a few items. One, the putting green. Right now we have 6 sticks down there. We used to have about 13 holes. I know we haven't had them in years now. Is there a chance we can get some actual holes down there?
On the putting green,
On the putting green?
we like the sticks.
Okay.
So much better.
Is that a short number of sticks too?
We had 13 holes on that
We
green.
had at least 10, I bet. Right now we have 6 sticks that were just.
We can put more sticks. Do you think we have 2 more sticks?
I don't remember how many.
The holes are a nightmare. They get absolutely destroyed. Paul Jeffroy lived over there. That's why we stopped it. It was just like 2-3 days a week trying to change out 10 cups.
Yeah, maybe we get actual cups and there were 6 of them. It's just,
Yeah, I can't imagine there was ever even close. I mean, we put
I mean, there
one on
were
each,
4
or 2
across,
on
it's
each.
just 2 up the top, 4, 5 in the middle, so that's 7. I think at least 5 down below, so 11 maybe. Maybe 10, maybe only 10, but there was more than 6 spots.
I think we have a couple more sticks. We'll
I
put
mean, at least
them
get a
on.
couple more sticks. I was down there the other night and that's not the biggest deal, but I just throw a
Sure.
coin out to chicken pot too.
Yeah, I think we have 2 more sticks. We'll have 2 more sticks.
Possibly even, I don't know what the lower green looks like. If people actually want to put it to a hole, they have to lock down. We get a couple holes in that lower.
Yeah, we have a hole in there for sure.
Down there, right?
Yeah, for the Holy Family, we put one.
Gotcha, okay. I know the tournament setup, there was some complaints about pin placements. Those are what they are. I know the tee placement stuff was an issue where tees a lot of times getting put way back if Dan's had to have someone run out of his shop.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that remedy.
We spoke about those guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going forward, status of the new carts, we have.
Every time I talk, this is July, so
Still
that hasn't changed.
That's what we said before.
Yeah.
And I just think there's much more junior play. I don't know what the interest would be, but if we could push the junior tournaments, maybe trying to run them again this year, push the fact that they can get a free handicap, which I didn't know about until this year, out to the membership, because I think that's an awesome thing that the MGA is offering, a free gym, any junior can
Oh,
get a
yeah.
free gym.
Oh, nice.
So I got Jackson Gym,
Yep.
his buddies all got gyms.
Did you have to do it through online? Were you able to do it online?
I was able to do it online, but I don't know if it, and obviously I have one, so it's kind of a parent-child account. I don't know how it's gonna work if kids' parents don't
I remember
have
the
one.
last couple of years, last year I had to put a junior in the shop.
Yeah. So there might be if there's no
Okay.
one on our info, but if you can push that out, I think any kind of
Yeah.
junior memberships, trying to retain.
Right.
I think there's quite a bit of interest.
Yeah,
To have some-
I think so. I think it's worth a shot, trying to have, even
I talked to somebody else,
even if it's a one day.
a lot of their kids are
two
gonna be
day,
showing up, so.
Or it's in the shop as well, where, it's just match play, and that might be easier for kids who don't, trying that one instead. And
9-hole or something.
yeah, do 9-hole matches, an 18-hole final or something. I know there was talk last year of lessons and clinics with partnering with the rec department. Is there any?
I haven't caught up with Dan. I've got the information to put out, because people donate money to name the junior program after Elizabeth Glinsky and, I can't, just won't blank on the other name.
Zolda?
Zolda, yeah.
Zolda.
So that those families donated money to name the junior program. I'm gonna talk to Todd about kind of debuting, announcing that, and pizzas or something upstairs.
Okay.
And Lynn talked to me about doing some tournaments too, so.
Yeah.
Kind of get a little bit of schedule going.
Any help you need from me in running those, or I'm sure you don't,
Yeah.
but if you do.
No,
If you're running clinics, I'm more than happy to try and come down and help wrangle
Yeah, I'll get
kids.
some of my staff and stuff like that too. But there is money in there.
I know there is, and obviously the rec department has as we talked to Dan about, that he has the ability to sign waivers and all that kind of stuff. I want to make sure things are tipped and tied.
Yeah, the waiver's the big one.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
That's all, everything else I had covered already, so thank you.
And you all set? And you
I'm
guys-
all set, thank you.
All set.
All set? All right, let's review the financials. So, total revenue right now is $989,000. We think that's probably through, probably the third week of May. So it's probably a couple more weeks. And what are we averaging, roughly about 40,000 a week?
The last 2 weeks ago, the last week, they probably had around 37.
37, something.
That's probably through the 26th.
You think this one is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 26th, so it gives
So
you the
there's-
second and 9th probably aren't in there.
Right, okay, so ain't bad then. Expenses, we're at 655, then the 230 for the indirect cost. As you can see, there were some expenses that had exceeded the budget, so we will have to reappropriate some money from some of the other categories to cover those overages. So we are at about $103,000 surplus as of right now. So-
Plus those 2 weeks.
Plus the 2 weeks, and then, yeah, so roughly
Almost 180.
So expense-wise, we got, what, 3 weeks left?
Yep.
Okay. So I will contact the city auditor and make the appropriate transfers to cover these excess budget items. Are there any other questions on the financials? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the financials?
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we had originally set up in June 24th, right? Yeah. So why don't we hold that date? And we'll just meet on that date too. And we'll have a better feel as how our year end's gonna be. Need a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.